Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Fatin Natasha bintu Asman. So today I will present about our fifth Prime Minister, which is Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi. On this topic, I will explain the strategies taken by Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi to further develop the socio-economic situation of Malaysia and administrative reform initiated by Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi during his premiership. Okay, first we will go through to the strategies taken by Datuk Seri Abdullah Ahmad Badawi to further develop socio-economic situation in Malaysia. So the strategies taken are Sabah Development Corridor SDC, Sarawak Corridor of Renewable Energy known as CORE, East Coast Economic Region ECER, and North Corridor Economic Region NCER. Okay, I will elaborate about the Sabah Development Corridor (SDC). SDC was implemented on 29 January 2008. The objective of SDC is to improve infrastructure in Sabah, which are physical infrastructure and also soft infrastructure. Physical infrastructure refers to the transportations, utilities and communications to enhance living standard and enable commercial activities. Meanwhile, for soft infrastructure, it is focused upgrading of existing workforce in key industry, retention of talented Sabahan, and targeted import of foreign talent in professional and managerial positions. Three sub-regions involved, which are Western, Central, and Eastern. For Western, it is identified as Sabah Industry Belt, and for Central, it is identified as Sabah Agriculture, Hinterland, and Food Belt. For Eastern, it was identified as a self-sufficient corridor with hinterland industry, port, and others related to the service. There are three phases of SDC. The first phase focuses on building foundations, and the second phase focuses on the economic growth, and the third phase focuses on the expansion of SDC. So these are the main sector of SDC, which is tourism. The government aims to make Sabah the most livable place in the world and to encourage investors to anchor new signature tourism product and activities in Sabah, such as wellness center and sailing activity. For logistics, the main focus will be lowering the cost of doing business in Sabah. And then agriculture focus on increasing overall food self-sufficiency, planting high-value crop for export and downstream processing, and assisting in poverty eradications. Agriculture initiated in Sabah is Keningau Integrated Livestock Center (KIK) and Sabah Agro Industrial Precinct (SAIP). It was based on botanical, aquatic plants and animals. And then the last one is our manufacture. The target in manufacturing is to encourage French investment to anchor and accelerate the growth of downstream manufacturing activities in Malaysia. Besides that, the other strategies taken by Tun Abdullah is Sarawak Corridor Renewable Energy, or known as CORE. It is implemented on 11 February 2008 and managed by Ricoda. The objective is to develop the central region and transform Sarawak into a developed state by the year 2020. CORE focuses on urban areas, which are Sibu, Bintulu, Mukah, and Kapit. It is a long-term project which from 2008 until 2030. Because they want to expand their operation and reach in Asia's fast-growing market. And then the main industry of SCORE are oil-based industry. Oil-based sector, including natural gas, have a great potential for investor and for bringing prosperity to the people of Sarawak. And then the second one is aquaculture. It is offer the prospect for investor in aquaculture and fishing. Tanjung Manis Halal Hub will specialize in fish like garoupa, barramundi, and tilapia, and also high value seafood such as spiny lobster, prawn, and crabs. And then timber-based industry. It is aimed to attract new investment and encouraging them to migrate from basic commodity timber productions to the manufacture of high-value components and finished goods for export. And the last one is a palm oil. Palm oil to serve the growth market of Greater China and meet accelerating demand for oleochemicals, biofuels, and biopalm oil products. Alright, we move to the next strategies, which is East Coast Economic Region, or known as ASER. Okay, ASER was launched on 30 October 2007. It is focused on economic development regions based on East Coast of Peninsular Malaysia, which are Kelantan, Terengganu, and Pahang. The objective is to implement the master plan, which are Plantation Group IOI and Petronas. These both private sector have a very strong presence in ASER. The project involved in ASER is to upgrade the railway station and connect with another lines within this peninsular state, and then upgrading current coaster and build the new one, and also the construction Lebir Dam in Kelantan, and the last one is flood mitigations in Kelantan and Terengganu and others. Okay, the last one is Northern Corridor Economic Regions, or ANSER. It is to ensure equitable distribution of wealth across the country in line with national aspirations to become a high-income developed nation. It is consists of 4 northern states such as Perlis, Kedah, Perak, and Penang. It is to encourage foreign investment and growth prospects through a favorable stable for market investor. Each of these states have their own resources that can attract investors and tourists. For instance, paddy fields are well known in Kedah, Seberang Perai, and Krian. Electric and electronic are major industry in Penang and Seberang Perai. Oil palm and rubber cultivations are famous in Krian, Larut, Matang, and Selama district, Perak. And the last one, tourism are well known in Langkawi, Padang Besar, Bukit Kayu Hitam, and Kuala Kangsar. So with the resources that owned by this country, it can achieve the nation aspirations, which to become a high-income nation. And then we move to the second discussion, which is the administrative reform initiated by Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi during his premiership. So these are the 4 administrative reforms that implemented by Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi, which is set up the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commissions, Code of Ethics for Member of Parliaments, reducing red tape, and establish a national integrity plan. So we will go further one by one. Okay, Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commissions, or MACC, was set up in 2004 to reduce the percentage of corruption among workers. MACC replaced the Anti-Corruption Agency Act 1997. It is known as an independent, transparent, and professional body to effectively and efficiently manage the nation's anti-corruption efforts. The objective of MACC is to incessantly eradicate all forms of corruption, abuse of power, and malpractice. It is also to create awareness and educate the public bodies against corruptions. So as we can see nowadays, through the media, social, news in televisions and newspaper, there are a lot of cases that related to our public bodies involved in corruption. For example, our 6th Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Najib, was accused involved in corruption such as 1MDB, 2.6 billion, and many more. The strategies taken by MCC to reduce the corruption is investigate corruption officer, detects the risk of corruptions in work practice, and also system and procedure in governments. Alright, beside that, the administrative reforms initiated by Tun Abdullah is reducing the red tape of bureaucracy. Red tape means the rules and procedure that seems unnecessary and delay. This was applied to governments, corporations and other large organizations due to the delay in applications such as loan applications for small and medium business. And then, Pemudah were introduced in 11 January to improve the government regulates the business. These administrative reforms still are practiced by the government today, which is in the 2020, the government agreed to cut the red tape with the tagline Malaysia Mudah in order to help and assist company and small business that were burdened by the red tape. And then I will explain about the others administrative reforms, which is a code of ethics for members of parliaments. It was launched in 2004 in order to avoid corruptions among the members of parliament. It is the member parliament need to declare their own assets, the assets of their children aged 20 and below, and their spouse and their trustee that made under statutory declaration every 2 years. They need to do the declaration within 3 months after they sworn in as an MP and after wins the general elections. The copy of declarations then will be forwarded to the MACC, Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commissions. It is to ensure the good governance practice and to reduce the corruptions among public bodies. Now we move to the last administrative reforms, which is the establishment of National Integrity Plan. It is to establish with a fully moral and ethical society whose citizens are strong in religious and spiritual values and imbued with the highest ethical standard. It was identified for the first 5 years, which is from 2004 until 2008, to achieve 5 targets known as Target 2008. So I will tell you what is Target 2008. The first one is effectively reduce corruptions, malpractice and abuse power. Second one is improve efficiency in the public service delivery system and overcome bureaucratic red tape. The third one is enhance corporate governance and business ethics. And then strengthen family institutions, like reduce the divorce rate, reductions in domestic violence, and reduction of neglect, elderly and others. And the last one is improve the quality of life and people's well-being. That's all for my presentations about Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi. Thank you for lending your ears.